I keep thinking you're going to say my name because it's so close. Paul, you get the they get the cray, they see you there, whatever. Anyway, it's probably just me being whatever. Yeah.
Hi there, folks, and welcome back to season 3. Hi there, folks, and welcome back to Season 3 of American Airgunner, the only television show dedicated to the wonderful world of the airgun shooting sports. My name is Paul Capello, and I'm joined here today with 2007 World Field Target Champion Paul Cray. You might have seen him on episodes in 2010. Paul, Happy New Year. Good to have you back.
Thank you, Paul. It's great to be back.
All right, you're going to join us for more episodes this year?
Absolutely.
Terrific.
Absolutely.
Paul's going to be showing us all about the world of Field Target. But I have to tell you, I'm kind of stumped on what to do for our premiere episode for season 3. Any ideas?
Well, I have a question actually. Whatever happened to the episode we shot before Christmas?
Christmas episode, the lost Christmas episode. I'll tell you, Paul, that present is wrapped in under the tree still.
Really?
So maybe it's a good idea we show it for today's episode.
Am I in it?
You are.
Then you got to show it.
All right.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and roll that tape. As a matter of fact, I have it right here.
Wow, look at this.
Yeah.
You swear this was never planned or anything? It's just...
No, it's just happened to...
Wow.
Happened to be here.
Wow, this is so technical.
Isn't it? High tech.
Wow.
Bluegrass jingle bells?
That's crystal on the banjo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hot, right?
Yeah.
How to stay alive in the woods, huh?
Yep.
Hi there, folks, and welcome back to American Airgunner. My name is Paul Capello.
And I'm Crystal Ackley.
And even though this is the final episode of our 2010 season, and it's freezing outside in the Catskill Mountains, we've got some great segments coming up for you.
That's right, Paul. We have a summertime flashback of when I had the chance to check out the Beeman P1, which is a classic German-made spring-powered pistol.
Also, I'll be taking the mystery out of lead-free pellets with a head-to-head comparison of several different brands.
Coming right up on American Airgunner. Have you read this yet?
Only on the throne.
That's a good place.
Season 3 of American Airgunner is sponsored by Pyramid Air, the world's largest airgun mall, and Umarex, your premium airgun supplier.
Today, I'm using the Beeman P1 to knock down silhouettes. Although it may look like the Colt 1911A, it's not an exact replica. However, you can easily swap out these walnut grips with the grips from your favorite .45 automatic. The P1 is also made entirely out of metal, except for the plastic fiber optic sights. This particular P1 is the 177 caliber version. However, it's also available in 20 and 22 calibers. Unique to the 177 caliber is the ability to shoot in both high and low power. Here, let me show you. By cocking the over lever part way, the pistol is set for low power. On low power, the pistol shoots a 7.5 grain pellet at about 425 feet per second. When the pistol is cranked all the way over, it's now set for high power and shoots the same pellet at about 525 feet per second. You may have noticed that the P1 doesn't have an automatic safety, so it's very important to get in the habit of putting it on safe after every shot before loading. The very best part about the German-made Beeman P1 is the accuracy. With practice, you can expect half-inch groups or smaller at 25 feet from your target. The P1 is the kind of finely crafted airgun that, with very little maintenance, can last a lifetime and be passed down to the future airgunners in your family.
You know, the Crosman 2240 is one of the most highly customizable CO2 pistols out there. And in this next segment, I'll be tearing this one down and doing a few simple mods that will help improve both the performance and the looks of this classic air pistol. All right, folks, I have the 2240 here. The first thing we're going to do is disassemble it. And remember, don't try this at home unless you are an experienced gunsmith. Going to make sure that there's no CO2 in it. I've already checked that there's none in there, but just to show you at home, there's no CO2 cartridge. Now I'll take my slotted screwdriver and remove the grip frame. Now there is a small spring under here that is for the safety, so I'm going to be very careful when I remove the next screw so I don't lose that spring and a ball bearing. Now, just to make sure I don't lose that tiny spring inside there and the ball bearing, I'll use this magnet tool. All right, I'll just get inside there with that. I know where it's located. And there it is. All right, now that we have that small screw out, we'll put it to the side. Next, take off the screw that holds the rear sight in and also the breech. Now I can pull the hammer pin out, take my hammer out. Look how dirty that is. Okay, now that we have the pistol disassembled, the first thing I'm going to do is polish up this hammer. So I have my mini grinder here, grinder polisher. It's got a little Scotch-Brite wheel on it, nice and slow. Okay, now that I've used the Scotch-Brite wheel on it, I'm going to put some polishing rouge on our polishing machine here. Get a real nice high gloss shine on it. Got my fingers all green here, but we should have a nice shiny hammer now. Now, whether or not this makes a performance difference, which I think it does, it sure does look real nice, and knowing that it's inside this pistol makes me feel good. The triggers on the 2240 and similar guns are notoriously heavy. So I'm going to take out the parts for the trigger and polish up the sears and then put a little moly paste on it. That should help improve the trigger quite a bit. So I'll take the grips off. If you take a look inside here, you'll see the trigger spring. You might even replace that or even take one of the coils off to help improve that trigger. There's a small plate covering the trigger unit, so I'll have to take my Allen wrench and remove that plate. There are 3 screws. Be very careful when you're doing this because you might lose small parts inside there. And there we go. Inside here we have the sear, and there's 2 points I'm going to polish on these parts, mainly where the trigger touches the sear here. So these are the 2 contact points I'm going to polish. The first part is on the trigger, and the next is on the sear. Okay, the next part of our modification is to put a power adjuster on the back of the pistol. That's going to replace the stock cap that goes on the back of the receiver. What this does is adjust the tension on the hammer spring. The more tension, the harder that hammer is going to hit the valve, and the more CO2 is going to come out, and you'll get more powerful shots. When you back it off, the hammer is going to hit the valve a little bit less, and you're going to get more shots per CO2 cartridge. So, we'll go ahead and start the assembly process, and we'll see how it shoots. Put the O-ring back in. There we go. Again, we're going to put some moly paste on the hammer. This way we get good metal-to-metal contact inside the receiver. And we'll drop that back inside there. Okay, this is what we have so far. We polished up the hammer, we polished up the trigger and the sear, made a better contact there, very smooth. And we've also replaced the stock trigger spring with one that's a little bit lighter. And we've also put this neat little power adjuster made by Don Cothran, who is a wonderful machinist. The next thing we're going to do is completely aesthetic. We're going to be putting these custom Capello grips on the 2240. These are beautiful. And they are a perfect match fit for this pistol. Okay, there we have our beautiful Capello grips, and that will definitely help improve your experience with the 2240. Let's make sure it cocks, and there we go. These are really nice grips. Now what we're going to do is put some CO2 in it, and we're going to test our power adjuster, first on high power and then on low power. Well, just for the sake of argument, we shot some 13.7 grain H&N Sport pellets over the cranny, first with the power adjuster on full power. That gave us an average of 457 feet per second, and then we backed off the power adjuster to just about to the end. Right about there, and that gave us an average of 383 feet per second with the same pellet. I have to say also, replacing that factory trigger spring with a lighter spring did make a very big difference in the trigger pull. I would call these mods and the tune-up on this Crosman 2240 a complete success. During the past season, we've received a few emails from some viewers asking us about the accuracy of lead-free pellets. Well, in this next segment, we'll be taking some different brands head-to-head and finding out just how accurate they are. There are several reasons why you may want to use these pellets, such as concern for the environment, and more importantly, reducing the risk of exposure to yourself and your family to the hazards of lead. The pellets we'll be using for our test include the .177 caliber H&N Field Target Green, RWS Hypermax, Gamma Raptor, and the .22 caliber RWS Hypervelocity, and the Skenko Green Monster pellets. For testing in the .177 caliber category, we have the Air Arms Multi-Purpose Rifle. For the .22 caliber pellets, the Air Force Talon SS. All pellets were shot at targets approximately 16 yards from the bench, and both rifles locked down in a Caldwell lead sled. After calibrating our grain scale, we carefully weighed each pellet before shooting them. To make sure the rifles were shooting properly, we used lead pellets in a control test. 10.4 grain .177 caliber JSB heavy pellets were used in the Air Arms rifle. And in the Talon SS, we used 16.36 grain H&N Field Target pellets. Now for the synthetics. First up were the .177 caliber 5.5 grain RWS Hypermax pellets. These gave us a center-to-center group of 0.179 inches, very respectable. Next up were the 177 caliber 5.5 grain H&N Field Target Green pellets. This 16-yard group was a little larger, measuring 0.222 inches. 177 caliber 5.4 grain Gamo Raptor pellets surprised us with a group measuring 0.208 inches. Now for the 22 caliber pellets. These pellets are mostly plastic with alloy tips, and if you notice, they don't share the same flared skirt designs as the all-metal pellets. The RWS Hypervelocity pellets gave us a center-to-center group of 0.884 inches. The Skenko Green Monsters were all over the place for the largest grouping of 0.907 inches. I was surprised with the very good accuracy of the 177 caliber pellets. On the other hand, the plastic pellets were disappointing and even showed signs of keyholing, which means they were not stable in flight and punched holes in the target resembling the shape of a keyhole. What I'd like to see in the future is a plastic alloy-tipped pellet with a proven flared skirt design. Our test was conducted in a controlled environment with lockdown rifles, no wind, and at a distance of only 16 yards. You can't expect to get the same results when shooting outdoors at greater distances with these synthetic pellets. Factors such as velocity, wind, the type of airgun used, and your own shooting ability will greatly impact your experience with lead-free pellets.
With hunting season just around the corner, there's no better time to break out your favorite airgun and start getting warmed up. This cool fall weather is perfect for passing time with target shooting. Here at American Airgunner, we've come up with a really fun and easy method to setting up targets, testing, and hopefully improving your shooting skills. It's been raining on and off here all day, but let's face it, hunting conditions aren't always the best, so regardless, it still makes for good practice. So we're set up here in the woods, and the crew went ahead and hid 3 targets between 20 and 30 yards out. If you're shooting alone like me, the idea would be to randomly place the targets, locate, and shoot them as quickly as possible. You would then repeat this process until you were satisfied with your time and accuracy. If you were shooting with a friend, it would obviously be easier to take turns hiding the targets, timing one another, and seeing who finishes first, but it works either way. Today I'm shooting with the RWS Model 34 using 22 caliber JSB Jumbo Express pellets. I have my cell phone as a timer, so let's get started. Okay, 1 minute and 9 seconds, not bad. I'm gonna have the crew switch out the targets and I'm going to keep shooting until I'm happy with my time and accuracy. Meanwhile, if you have any shooting games of your own, I'd love to hear about them and I really hope you enjoyed this one.
It sounds pretty cool.
Welcome to American Airgunner.
Oh my God! Well, folks, while this is the last show of our 2010 season, we'd like to announce some good news. You will be seeing American Airgunner for Season 3 in 2011. Log on to the American Airgunner Facebook page for more information on the upcoming season. And we do have some bittersweet news. We are losing 2 beloved crew members here on American Airgunner. My lovely co-host for the past 2 seasons, Crystal Ackley, my nephew and cinematographer, Christian Capello Cologne, are both headed west to Hollywood to chase their dreams, and we do wish them the very best of luck. We'd also like to thank our fans out there who have supported us over the last 2 seasons. We'd like to thank our sponsors, and also thank Intermedia Outdoors and the Sportsman Channel. So, guys, good luck on your trip to Hollywood, California.
Good luck.
Best of luck to both of you. And until next season, shoot safe and have fun.